placed their trust in the Senate to represent their interests. Mr. Speaker, just reflecting upon, I thought as well on some of what many might consider to be among the highs, just as I've listed quite a number, and what perhaps where there is a high, Mr. Speaker, there has to be a low. The world and life generally is sinusoidal. It rises and it falls. And I remember quite a number. The passage of the security laws, Mr. Speaker, Amendment Bill of 2014, quite a difficult and a challenging time for us in Parliament. The passage of the revenue generation sharing formulas, the three of them, Mr. Speaker, have been quite a challenge in this House, Mr. Speaker. I have been lucky to witness all three, Mr. Speaker, and I know while each has been unique and has had its own difficulties and nuances associated with dividing anything money-related, Mr. Speaker, each has been unique, but I'm glad that on all three occasions, Senate emerged the winner. Of course, the first and the second Senate Mashinani sittings in Kitui goes down as a high. Mr. Speaker, the suspension of the Senate sittings in solidarity with senators arrested over the second generation revenue sharing formula. That was quite a high. We came together and pulled together close ranks across political party divides, Mr. Speaker, and ensure that our colleagues who had been arrested in the course of their duty were brought back to this House before debate could commence on anything, Mr. Speaker. That was quite a high. It's not every day, Mr. Speaker, that colleagues close ranks and fight for each other. Oversight of the county, oversight of county governments and assemblies by Senate committees, quite an important exercise that we partake through our various committees, Mr. Speaker. Well-coordinated impeachment processes bringing order to county governments, Mr. Speaker. We have saved governors on these floors. We've hanged some, Mr. Speaker. Both very difficult experiences. On days where we have acquitted some, hasn't been easy. Most of the times, Mr. Speaker, we've had to sit until very late at night. There are some that we've sat up to almost 2 or 3 a.m. in the morning because of statutory deadlines, Mr. Speaker. But all in all, we guided the specific county assemblies in the right way, complete with a exit report from the committee or the plenary, Mr. Speaker, guiding them on what to do and handle a particular situation. What are some of our laws, Mr. Speaker, as a House, the past 10 years as I reflect and think through? Quickly off my mind, Mr. Speaker, I remember the stalemate with the National Assembly and the National Government over the division of Revenue Bill. Quite famous in the 10th Parliament, Mr. Speaker. No, the 11th Parliament, where National Assembly was grappling with appreciating that Senate had arrived, we were the new kid on the block, and we were ready and willing to defend the place of devolution in our Constitution. And therefore, many afternoons, the National Assembly spent useful public time discussing individual senators as opposed to our position and what we stood for in the family of devolution, Mr. Speaker. It hasn't been an easy time. Secondly, of course, arrest of senators, colleagues, Senator Cleophas Malala, Senator Christopher Langat, and Senator Dr. Lutumbesi Lelegwe over standoff on related to the passage of second generation formula. That was quite a difficult time for us as a House, but I appreciate what we did together. All of us, those that were in support of the formula as proposed, those that were against, we all stood firm and said the state had taken their game too far. And until we were given a credible explanation of where our colleagues were, they were unconditionally released, that's when debate resumed, Mr. Speaker. Of course, Council of Governors and Senate standoff over oversight funds, especially